Chosen one, let me ask you something that most people are too afraid to say out loud. Have you ever sat alone in that aching silence, wondering why the people closest to you, your own family, seemed blind to your heart? Why they couldn't understand you, support you, or love you the way you needed even when you needed it most? If you're hearing this right now, it's because you're meant to. You were led here on purpose. There are no accidents in the divine plan. What I'm about to share with you will shift how you see your past, your pain, and your place in this world. You've been carrying the weight of rejection, confusion, and self-doubt for years, maybe your entire life, believing that something must be wrong with you. But I need you to hear this. It was never you. It was your light. It was your calling. The truth is, when you've been chosen, you were never designed to fit into the boxes others tried to put you in. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." You were never meant to conform. You were meant to awaken. You were meant to stand apart. This isn't just a message. It's confirmation. And if your spirit feels it, type 777 in the comments and let heaven take notice. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and send this to another chosen soul. There's someone else who needs this just as much as you. And chosen one, you were never meant to fight these battles empty-handed. I've created a guide designed to help you step fully into who you are, to see yourself the way God sees you. It's filled with spiritual tools, ancient truths, and divine strategy to help you stand strong against every lie of the enemy. The link is below. Get your copy and walk boldly into the victory that's already been written for you. Now, let's go deeper. To understand why your family couldn't love you the way you needed, you have to understand the essence of who you are. The chosen ones are different by design. From the moment you entered this world, your spirit carried a different frequency. You didn't come to blend in. You came to disrupt, to wake up generations, to break cycles, to shift atmospheres. You were never ordinary, and that difference made people uncomfortable. Sometimes, even the people who raised you. Some saw your light and were drawn to it. Others saw it and felt threatened without even knowing why. As Jesus said in Matthew 10:36, "A man's enemies will be the members of his own household, not because they hate you, but because your presence reveals what they haven't healed." That's the mirror you carry. Chosen ones often feel like strangers in their own homes because your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's discernment. When someone lies, you feel it. When someone pretends, you know it. And when the room goes silent, you can still sense what's hiding in the dark. This gift of perception sets you apart, but it also sets you up to be misunderstood. You've carried pain that others would have crumbled under. You've endured storms that were never meant to crush you, but to craft you. Isaiah 48:10 says, "I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every silent night, it was shaping something eternal in you. And even in your lowest moments, when you thought you were finished, something inside of you kept rising. That's not luck, that's divine endurance. You've been built to overcome. You are still here for a reason. Chosen ones often feel like they don't belong, not because they're lost, but because they're ahead. Your spirit knows there's more, even when everyone else is content with less. That inner restlessness, that's your calling shaking the walls of comfort. You weren't born to live small. You weren't created to stay silent. You're wired for impact, for depth, for truth. And yes, that makes life harder, but it also makes it worth it. Another mark of the chosen is wisdom. You may have been told you're too serious, too intense, too much. But Ecclesiastes 1:18 tells us, with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. You see things that others miss. You feel deeply. You understand beyond your years. And that kind of knowing isn't always welcomed, especially in families that would rather stay asleep. But don't confuse resistance for rejection by God. You weren't set apart to be superior. You were set apart to serve a higher purpose, to speak when others stay silent, to heal what others deny, to carry truth into places where it's been buried. That doesn't make you better, it makes you responsible. The road is heavy because your calling is heavy. But hear this, God does not give battles to the unprepared. Psalm 18:39 says, "You armed me with strength for battle. You humbled my adversaries before me. You are equipped. You are anointed. You are chosen." So don't run from your difference. Embrace it. It's time to stop questioning your worth and start stepping into your purpose. You didn't come this far to blend in. You came to rise, to lead, to break every chain that tried to hold your family back for generations. This is your moment. This is your confirmation. And the world is waiting for what's inside you. Chosen one, your presence is both flame and light. To some, it shines like a lamp on their path. As Psalm 119:105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." To others, that same light exposes what they tried to hide in the shadows. You cannot decide how people respond to your fire. Some will draw near, seeking truth, healing, and warmth. Others will pull away because your very being unmasks what they fear to face. And yes, even your own family may have struggled to handle that fire. Instead of celebrating your uniqueness, they may have rejected it. Instead of watering your gift, they may have tried to silence it. Yet here you stand, chosen and still burning. You carry a prophetic edge. Like the watchman in Ezekiel 33:7, you sense shifts before they appear. You warn of storms before they break. That gift sets you apart, but it can also make you feel alone. When you spoke truth, they may have mocked you. When you carried warnings, they may have dismissed you. Yet time proved your discernment right. That too is part of your nature, and part of why you were never fully embraced. You are a warrior of light. Your presence disrupts patterns, tears down chains, and exposes lies. That is why resistance found you, especially among those closest to you. They only saw the child, the sibling, the relative, but not the calling, not the fire, not the divine mission branded on your spirit. Their failure to recognize you was not an accident. It was by design. If they had embraced you fully, you might have grown comfortable. You might have blended in. But rejection pushed you higher. As Romans 8:28 declares, all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. Their rejection was not your ruin, it was your awakening. The truth is, chosen one, your calling is rare, your burden heavy, but it is holy. You are set apart, refined by fire, guided by spirit, and protected by heaven. Even when your family turned away, the eyes of the Lord never left you. For Psalm 34:15 says, "The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry." While they misunderstood you, the Creator always understood you. Your very existence testifies that you are chosen. No rejection, no silence, no wound can erase that truth. This is why your path has been hard. This is why your journey feels different, because your story is not ending. It is only beginning. Remember, family was your first mirror. Before strangers misunderstood you, before the world pushed you aside, there was family. The first eyes to look into yours, the first hands to shape what love should mean. But for many chosen ones, family is also the first place of rejection. This is not random. Family becomes the first classroom, teaching not only words and steps, but teaching you how to love, how to receive, how to see yourself. If that mirror was cracked, it distorted your worth. It made you question if something was wrong with you. But hear me, their broken reflection was never about you. It was about them. Families struggle to embrace what they cannot understand. They saw your uniqueness early, but instead of nurturing it, they tried to suppress it. Maybe you were called too sensitive, too quiet, too bold, too different. Those labels were attempts to cage a spirit they could not comprehend. And because, as a child, you trusted that mirror, you believed their judgment was truth. You thought their inability to accept you meant you were unlovable. But in reality, their rejection was proof you carried something beyond their reach. That is why chosen ones often feel like strangers in their own homes. The sibling who never fit in, the child who questioned everything, the one who felt unseen under their own roof. Family mirrors do not always reflect your light. They reflect their own wounds, their insecurities, their generational cycles. Parents project what they never healed. Siblings echo envy. Relatives replay patterns of fear. And your spirit, different, radiant, unyielding, disrupted all of it. Think back. Did you notice the silence, the favoritism, the criticism, the endless comparisons? Families replay the same scripts, generation after generation. But when a chosen one is born, the script breaks. You were never meant to repeat the cycle. You were meant to rewrite it. That is why they turned their discomfort on you. The mirror showed them their own pain, and instead of facing it, they blamed you. But understand this, you're not here to carry their brokenness. You're here to shine through it. And as Isaiah 60 verse 1 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Rises upon. Chosen one, listen closely. The rejection you faced from your family was never proof that you were unworthy. It was never about you. Their inability to love you was the echo of their own wounds. A broken mirror cannot show a clear reflection. They could not embrace your light because they had not yet found their own. As Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Luke 23:34. Their rejection was not your fault, it was their blindness. And remember this, when light bursts into a dark room, the first instinct is to turn away, to cover the eyes, to resist. That is why you were silenced in your own house, told to keep quiet, to stop asking, to stop shining. They wanted you dim, because your brilliance revealed what they were hiding. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Your family's rejection was never the end of you. It was the training ground for your purpose. They were your first mirror, showing you that not everyone will welcome your light, not even those closest to you. Yet, in that rejection, a holy preparation was taking place. They forced you to turn inward, to find a love that does not come from human approval, but from the Eternal One. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Psalm 27:10. Family was your first mirror, chosen one, but it was never your final mirror. Their distorted reflection was only the beginning. The Creator Himself is your true reflection, and in His eyes you are not broken, not forgotten. You are worthy, loved, powerful and set apart. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. 1 Peter 2:9. Do not despise the mirror. See it for what it was, a teacher, a lesson, a preparation. Their coldness was not your downfall, it was your awakening. They were the first to misunderstand you, but they will not be the last. And that is why you must rise above their brokenness and embrace the truth of who you really are. Chosen one, understand this. Their rejection was not just human, it was spiritual. You were born into that house by design, not by accident. You were sent to break cycles that lived in that bloodline for generations. Cycles of silence, cycles of abuse, cycles of fear, envy, lack, addiction, betrayal. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, to the pulling down of strongholds. 2 Corinthians 10:4. Your very presence was a disruption to the darkness. That disruption often looked like rejection. Families cling to their familiar wounds, but your vibration was different. Your spirit carried the frequency of freedom, and to them, that felt like a threat. Darkness always resists the light. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Ephesians 6:12. This is why they resisted you without even knowing why. Their souls agreed long before this life to play their role, to push you, to misunderstand you, to resist you, because that resistance would refine you. Pain became the teacher that awakened you. If they had loved you perfectly, you might have stayed comfortable. But chosen ones are not meant for comfort. You are meant to rise higher, to walk in divine love, to step into your calling. Their coldness was a redirection, away from human approval, upward toward the Creator. You were hidden from them because your gift was never meant to be nurtured by them. It was meant to be nurtured by God Himself. Even their envy was spiritual. They sensed your authority, your depth, your difference, before you even knew it yourself. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. Their coldness was not rejection of you, it was resistance to the mission inside you. They were the obstacle that would train you. They were the fire that would refine you into gold. But He knows the way that I take. When He has tested me, I will come forth as gold. Job 23:10. And though it hurt, it was holy. Their rejection does not excuse their actions, but it explains them. It frees you from believing their lies. Now you can see the bigger picture. Their lack of love pushed you toward the one who is love itself. And in that love, you have found your true identity. So, chosen one, walk forward in this truth. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared. Their coldness was not your destruction, it was your divine awakening. Chosen one, this revelation shifts everything about your story. You are not the abandoned child of a loveless family. You are the warrior, refined by fire, strengthened in the furnace of their coldness. You were never invisible. You were hidden, protected by God's hand, until the appointed time, for it is written, for the vision awaits its appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come. Habakkuk 2:3. You were not unloved. You were redirected into the eternal embrace of the one whose love never fails. Their rejection was not your curse. It was your confirmation. Their inability to love you was the very sign of your anointing. This is why you no longer need their approval or their warmth. You have tasted something greater. You have found the truth, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. But chosen one, there is another layer of truth we must expose: the forces of envy and fear. These silent shadows explain why your family could not love you the way you longed for. Long before you recognized the depth of your spirit, they sensed it. Even before you knew your calling, they felt it in their bones. Something about you was set apart. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. That divine difference did not draw them close. It unsettled them. Envy often hides behind dismissive words, cold glances, and subtle cruelty. A parent may belittle instead of bless. A sibling may compete instead of celebrate. Relatives may exclude or gossip instead of embrace. Why? Because the chosen one carries an authority they cannot explain, a light that exposes the cracks in their own foundations. Your very existence became a mirror, reflecting back what they refused to face, what they did not heal, what they secretly desired but never pursued. And though they may never admit their jealousy, their reactions told the story. This is why you were treated as the outsider, not because you were unworthy, but because your spirit quietly challenged their complacency. While others stayed chained to old patterns, you questioned them. While others settled, you hungered for truth. Your very difference stirred discomfort that grew into envy. But beside envy stands fear. Fear of what they cannot understand. Fear of your light, your growth, your freedom. Families build invisible rules. Stay small, stay silent, do not outshine. But chosen one, you cannot be bound. You were born to break barriers, to rise, to shine, for you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Your freedom terrified them because it exposed their lack of courage. It revealed the life they could have chosen but did not. So instead of supporting you, they resisted you. This fear is also spiritual blindness. When darkness encounters light, it recoils. They may have mocked you, distanced themselves, or accused you, not because you were wrong, but because your presence disturbed their shadows. And so, many chosen ones become scapegoats, blamed for what was never their fault, labeled as the difficult one, the problem, when in truth, you were the solution they could not handle. Hear this clearly. Their envy was proof of your light. Their fear was proof of your power. If you were ordinary, they would not have resisted you. If nothing were within you, they would not have reacted so strongly. Their rejection was not a reflection of your weakness. It was evidence of your strength. And here lies the deeper wisdom. That hidden envy and fear were part of your training. They pushed you into solitude, where you learned to lean on God alone. They taught you resilience, courage, and independence. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Psalm 118:22. Had they embraced you too easily, you might never have discovered the unshakable foundation within you. But through their envy, you found independence. Through their fear, you discovered courage. Through their rejection, you found your reflection in the divine. Chosen one, hear me. All your life you have wrestled with rejection, the sting of being cast aside, the ache of not belonging, the weight of feeling invisible. It cut deep, but listen closely. That rejection was never sent to destroy you. No, it was sent to shape you, to refine you like gold in the furnace, just as it is written, "For you, O God, tested us. You refined us as silver is refined." Psalm 66:10. What you thought was your greatest wound has in truth been your greatest teacher. Every "no" you heard on earth was heaven's way of leading you closer to the yes written over your life before you were even born. Remember this: before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. Think of the times your family failed to see you, when you felt like a stranger in your own home. That pain pushed you away from seeking man's approval and toward seeking the approval of the one who created you. Had they given you all you craved, you might have depended on them instead of leaning on him. But their rejection trained your spirit to listen for his voice, the still, small whisper that Elijah heard on the mountain. It is through rejection that you learned divine redirection. Chosen one, you were never meant to blend in. You were called to stand out, to carry a light others could not bear. If you had been embraced everywhere, you would have settled into comfort, and comfort would have stolen your calling. Rejection separated you so you could discover your uniqueness. It led you into solitude, not so you would be abandoned, but so you would learn the truth of his promise. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. Rejection also sharpened your discernment. When words and actions did not align, you learned to see beyond the surface. You learned to test the spirit, just as Scripture says. Do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. 1 John 4:1. Through rejection, your eyes were opened to truth, and your spirit was trained to recognize what is real. Without it, you might have been deceived. But more than discernment, rejection gave you resilience. How many times did you feel broken, yet rose again? How many times did you say, I cannot go on? And yet something inside refused to quit. That something was the Spirit of the living God breathing in you. Every closed door taught you to build another. Every setback became a setup for the next breakthrough. Just as Paul declared, we are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9. Consider the seed, buried in darkness, forgotten in the soil. It looks finished, but that very burial is the birthplace of life. Jesus himself said, unless a kernel of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it produces much fruit. John 12:24. Rejection was your burial, but what looked like the end was the beginning of your transformation. Hidden, unseen, you were breaking open, preparing to rise. Rejection also stripped away false notions of love. It taught you that not all who share your blood share your spirit. Love is not always found in kinship, but in alignment. And so God used rejection to lead you to your true family, the ones who see your soul, not just your name. For, as Jesus said, whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. Matthew 12:50. And more still, rejection does not merely protect, it promotes. Every time a person left, every job you lost, every relationship that crumbled, you were being lifted higher. At the moment it felt like loss, but later you saw the mercy in it. What you thought you wanted was too small for the destiny God prepared. As it is written, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. Chosen one, understand this. Rejection was training. Heaven allowed it because your calling requires strength, endurance, and wisdom. Without rejection, you would not carry the power you now hold. With it, you carry scars that prove survival. You carry discernment that guards your path. You carry resilience that sets you apart. So today, stop mourning the love that never came. Honor instead the strength rejection gave you. Stop calling it a curse and recognize it as the very tool that awakened your destiny. You would not be who you are without it, and though it broke you for a time, it built you forever. Chosen one, hear this truth. Your journey was never random. Every rejection was God's redirection. Every door that shut was a hand guiding you toward the one He designed to open. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Now, standing with the wisdom that pain carved into you, you can finally see rejection never destroyed you. It rebuilt you into something unshakable. The wound you thought would break you was the very thing that saved you. The tears you cried over their rejection were the waters that baptized you into freedom. You are not less because they did not choose you. You are more because you learned to grow without them. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Psalm 118:22. That is the role rejection played in your story. It was never your ending. It was always your beginning. But chosen one, there is a step you cannot skip. Understanding without resentment. Yes, you had reasons to be angry, but holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. Ephesians 4:26-27. Resentment chains you to the very pain you are trying to escape. The truth is, most of them acted from ignorance, not malice. They could not give you love because they did not have it themselves. They could not recognize your light because they were still stumbling in darkness. Their rejection was never about your worth. It was about their wounds, their fears, their brokenness. Understanding this does not excuse their actions, but it reveals the bigger picture. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Luke 23:34. They withheld love because they had never healed. They could not embrace you because they had not yet embraced themselves. Their inability to love was never proof that you were unlovable. It was evidence of their emptiness. And that realization sets you free. It allows you to say, yes, they could not love me, but I am still worthy of love. Instead of resentment, you now carry wisdom. Instead of grudges, you hold clarity. And here is the truth. The chosen one cannot walk into destiny with a bitter heart. Bitterness is too heavy for the road ahead. Your calling requires freedom, lightness, and a spirit unchained by anger. You are not called to hate them. You are called to outgrow them. You are not called to curse them. You are called to understand and move forward. Even their rejection had a divine purpose. Their coldness pushed you closer to God. Their inability to love prepared you to find true love in Him and in yourself. Without their rejection, you would not have been refined into the vessel you are now. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him. Romans 8:28. Forgiveness, chosen one, is not for them, it is for you. It unlocks the prison door of resentment. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it breaks the hold the past has on your spirit. You may never hear the apology you deserve, but you can give yourself the closure they never could. That is the power of understanding. Stand strong and declare, I release the pain, I release the anger, I release the need for them to change. I accept that they gave me what they could, and though it was not enough, it was enough to push me into my purpose. That is the paradox of the chosen one. What they meant for harm, God used for good. Remember this. Resentment ties you to the old story, but understanding sets you free to walk into the new one. You were never meant to stay chained to your past. You were meant to rise above it, to grow from it, and to keep moving forward with wisdom, peace, and divine strength. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Chosen one, this is how you heal. This is how you move forward. Chosen one, now that you see the truth of your journey, the sting of rejection, the coldness of hearts, and the hidden spiritual reasons behind it, it's time to speak of healing and rising again. Knowledge without healing leaves the wound open. Healing without forward movement leaves you standing still. You were never created to remain frozen in the pain of your past. The Lord says in Isaiah 43:18-19, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." You are here to rise, to be transformed, to step boldly into the future heaven has already written for you. The first step to healing is acknowledgement. You cannot move forward if you pretend the rejection did not wound you. Truth is where healing begins. Say to yourself, yes, it hurt when they did not love me. Yes, it scarred me when my light was rejected. Acknowledgement is not weakness, it is strength. It is you declaring, I see the truth and I will no longer deny it. The second step is release. To carry anger and bitterness is to chain yourself to yesterday. Release does not mean forgetting nor pretending the past was good. It means laying down the weight so you can walk free. Forgiveness is the key. As Ephesians 4:31-32 reminds us, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you. You forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Next comes the rebuilding of your inner foundation. Perhaps for years, your worth was tied to your family's acceptance. When they withheld it, you doubted yourself. But your worth was never rooted in their approval. It was sealed by divine love. Romans 8:38-39 declares that nothing, neither death nor life, nor angels nor demons, nor the present nor the future, can separate you from the love of God. So speak truth daily over your life. I am chosen. I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. Each word you speak plants new seeds in your spirit, seeds of strength and unshakable confidence. And yes, solitude is part of your healing. You've walked through seasons of isolation, but that quiet was never punishment. It was preparation. In solitude, you rediscover yourself, and you hear the whisper of the divine without interference. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Use your solitude as sanctuary, not as prison. Journal, pray, meditate. Healing blooms in stillness. But healing does not end within, it also flows outward. Moving forward means building new connections, finding spiritual family, divine alignments, relationships that honor the true you. The love you lacked from blood relatives, heaven will supply through your soul tribe, those who see you, celebrate you, and walk with you. Be open to receive them, and do not let past rejection harden your heart against future love. Healing also means boundaries. To love someone does not mean allowing their poison back into your life. Boundaries are not walls of hate, but gates of wisdom. They protect your peace as you grow. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guard it well. If envy and coldness continue in your family, you are not required to remain in their presence. You can love from afar while protecting your soul. Another key to healing is purpose. Pain without purpose leads to despair, but pain carried into purpose becomes power. Every rejection, every tear, every lonely night, it was not wasted. Romans 8:28 declares, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your pain was shaping you for your mission. Step boldly into it, whether to teach, to create, to lead, to heal, or to inspire. Let your wounds become wisdom, your scars become strength, your story become light for others still trapped in darkness. Do not forget gratitude. Gratitude transforms wounds into wisdom. Thank God even for the painful experiences, not because they were good, but because they grew you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 reminds us, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Thank the rejection, it redirected you. Thank the coldness, it taught you to find warmth within. Gratitude is a key that unlocks blessing after blessing. And finally, chosen one, moving forward means embracing joy. Do not let your past convince you that life will always be heavy. Healing births freedom, and freedom leads to joy. Psalm 30 verse 5 promises, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Give yourself permission to laugh again, to love again, to live again. You are not defined by what they withheld. You are defined by the abundance God has already placed within you. So rise up, chosen one, heal fully, release the past, rebuild your soul, guard your peace, embrace your tribe, step into your purpose, live with gratitude, walk in joy. This is how rejection becomes resurrection, pain becomes power, wounds become wisdom. You were chosen not to remain broken but to be made whole. Their rejection was not the end of your story, it was the beginning of your transformation. And hear this final word: what you have received today is not mere information. It is revelation. And revelation brings transformation. You did not stumble here by chance. This moment was appointed for you. Heaven's timing brought you to this truth. For years, you carried the ache of not being loved, the burden of being overlooked. You doubted your worth. You questioned your path. But now you know, it was never about your lack of value. It was about your calling. Their rejection was proof of your divine assignment. Now, walk forward, healed, unshaken, unstoppable, into the life that awaits you. Chosen one, you were never forgotten by God. Even when your family made you feel invisible, heaven's eyes were on you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. Your tears in the quiet night were not wasted. They were seen and they were held. You have always been loved, always been guided, always been carried by the one who never abandons. The absence of love in your family was painful, but it was not meaningless. It was the very thing that turned your heart toward the only love that never fails, the love of your Creator. That is why your story never looked like theirs. That is why you could never fit into the mold they tried to force upon you. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. You were not sent to repeat their cycles. You were sent to break them. You were chosen to heal, to rebuild, and to open a new path for the generations that will follow. Rejection was never your punishment. It was your preparation. It shaped you into the strong, wise, unshakable soul standing here today. So let go of bitterness. Stop wishing they had loved you differently. Their rejection pushed you closer to your true identity. Their silence trained you to hear the still, small voice within. Their coldness drove you into the warmth of the Spirit. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Psalm 118:22. That is you. You are not broken. You are chosen. Hear this clearly. Your family was never meant to define you. They were only the first mirror, not the final reflection. Your true identity comes from above. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. 1 John 3:1. You are not who they said you were. You are who He says you are. Beloved, anointed, chosen. Lift your head high now. Walk forward in freedom. You're no longer the child begging for scraps of love where it could never be found. You're the warrior who discovered the fountain of living water. You don't need their recognition because heaven already knows your name. You don't need their acceptance because you have already been accepted by the King of Kings. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. Your story is not ending with rejection. Your story is beginning with purpose. The seed of rejection has become the soil of your transformation, but the harvest is still ahead. Greater peace, greater opportunities, greater love, greater joy are on the way. You were set apart for this very moment, so move forward with courage, live unafraid, love without holding back, create without apology, speak your truth without hesitation. Never again doubt who you are. You are chosen. You are set apart. You are the light in a dark world. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Your family's inability to love you does not define you. God's unshakable love does. And if this word has touched your soul, type 777 in the comments as your declaration that you are stepping into your chosen path. If you know another chosen one who needs this reminder, share this video with them. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss the words heaven wants you to hear. Chosen one, this is your time. You are loved. You are worthy. You are chosen. Now rise and walk in it.